November 6th, 2014. I'm Dave.
I'm Seth.
We are Biffcasting here from my car on our drive home. And we're going to be talking about a band that Seth and I used to be in called the Worrymen.
The Worrymen.
Now, Seth, can you take me back nearly 10 years now?
Wow.
To the year 2005.
I'll do my best.
What was going on in your life and mine as you remember it?
I recall working at Papa John's Pizza. You were in school. I was not in school. And we were both playing in a band called the Worrymen. And you were also playing in at least one other band called Apsis.
Right. Yeah, so we're both at Papa John's. I mean, you and I first met in high school, but this was several years later when we got to really know each other and became friends.
Yeah.
You mind holding that?
Nope.
So, yeah, you knew I was in a band. I knew that you played. I don't think you had had a few. You had tried to get a couple bands started, and you were making some demo tapes. Writing out your songs and recording them, and you shared some of those with me, and I was sharing my stuff with you, like old Biff stuff and Apsis stuff and various bands I had been in. And I don't know whose idea it originally was, but maybe I just told you that we should jam, or I don't know, do you remember?
That's a good question. I don't recall how it got started, actually. I know that we had another guy, John.
We're at a stoplight and there's a bike next to us.
Right next to us. It's loud.
Yeah, that was the other piece of the story, is you were living with John, right?
Oh, yes.
Or you had been, or you were?
I was, yes. And yeah, we were kind of jamming. In fact, John lived in a little one-bedroom apartment, and we would jam in his apartment. And I would play bass, and he would play guitar, and we would just kind of, like, jam, like, what's that band?
Was it the Minutemen?
No, I wasn't quite good enough to play Minutemen songs. No, it was that English band. They're an English band, and they're reggae influenced.
I'm not sure.
Anyways, we would jam some stuff. Like, sometimes we would use beats from my turntables, and then sometimes we would use beats from Fruit Loops, or is it called Fruity Loops?
Yeah.
And that's...
So you guys were probably making some of those demos together.
Some of them. I think kind of John would hold on to any demos that we made together, and I would hold on to demos I made by myself. But I think that's where it kind of started, and then I imagine we must have just asked you one day if you want to start jamming with us.
Yeah, it was either that or I volunteered. One of the two. So yeah, sometime in probably mid 05 or early 05, I don't know, we started jamming together.
Yeah.
I guess you came up with the name. I always liked the name. I always equated it to Batman the Animated Series, because there is an episode called The Worrymen. And that's actually what comes up on Google when you search Worrymen.
Interesting.
But wasn't it some spin-off of the Beatles' original name, the Quarrymen? Wasn't that supposed to be part of it?
Yes, it was. The Beatles at some time were called the Quarrymen, and that's partly where the name came from. We were definitely listening to the Minutemen a lot at that time, so the Minutemen were a big influence. But I think we were trying not to rip the Minutemen off. So, but the name is obviously very similar to the Minutemen, but it did come from the Beatles and not the Minutemen, which I hate the Beatles, so it's quite interesting.
Well, how would you describe our? Well, okay. Before we get to that, well, no, okay, we'll do that first. How would you describe the music?
Well, the music was a little bit Sublime-ish, a little bit Minutemen-ish. It's definitely like punk music, and there was elements of hip hop, elements of reggae, but definitely punk rock. And I tried to have like kind of spacey elements to like jammy rock elements, but it didn't necessarily translate when we all played. But like there's a lot of influences that contributed to that band, like anything from Sublime to the Minutemen to Shellac to Del the Funky Homo Sapien. And then obviously a huge influence was that band back in Phoenix, Arizona called Urban Life. They were a big influence as well.
Reference Biffcast episode 2, I believe, 2 or 3. We talked about the Urban Life band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree. Punk rock, reggae, hip hop, and just straight up regular rock, all mixed in. It was exciting for me because I had never been in a band like that at all. Never really listened to that kind of music. I was a little into punk rock throughout my whole life, but hip hop and reggae was never my thing. But definitely grew a greater appreciation for it after being in that band. So maybe we'll take this opportunity to put in a song here. Can you think of a song that kind of represents us, like our flagship song?
Oh wow.
What was it called? Controversial.
Oh yeah,
I think that song kind of represents us. Here's Controversial.
Yes, Controversial Topics.
Yeah. Okay, so that was kind of a song that I think represented us pretty well. both Seth and I were both on that track singing, and that was another interesting thing about this band is we had 4 members, and all 4 of us sang different songs. We'll get more into that in a second, but I wanted to touch on another kind of unique thing for me in this band was that we were somewhat political, like at least in the songs that you wrote had a lot of political messages, like the one we just heard. Another one that comes to mind is the Misinterpretation song.
Yeah.
Which is just you like talking about your distaste for religion and going to church as a child.
Right.
I guess we had a song called Baghdad that John wrote.
Yeah, there was some strong topics in a lot of our songs. I think it has to do with just the fact, just how our ages and where we were in life.
Yeah, early 20s.
Yeah, getting out into the real world and just starting to see, you notice at that age when you're out there a lot of things, a lot of societal issues that maybe you might not notice when you're in high school and living at home with your parents.
Well, I think it was certainly a good outlet for you. It seemed like you got a lot out in your lyrics.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I had a lot of teenage angst, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And it was a nice outlet for sure.
Well, I figure maybe another good way to approach this is we can share another song, maybe one that John sang. So we're getting everybody here. Remember Corrugated Display?
Yeah.
That was a good kind of punk rock song that again had somewhat of a message to it. I think I remember him saying it was about some kind of something to do with like the homeless problem.
Right.
Like a homeless person inspired it.
The corrugated display is like a sign that the homeless person holds up saying, "Give me money," or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, here's Corrugated Display. Let's talk about some of the relationships in the band. So the members, it was me on drums, Seth on bass, John guitar. of course, we all sang, and then we had a fourth member and a fourth singer. Her name was Laurel. John and Laurel at some point were dating. I don't know if it was before they all joined up the band or during.
It seemed like they were kind of on and off. I don't know the exact status either.
They're certainly on and off. And that is just not a good recipe for a band.
No.
for members getting along and for the longevity, which is one of the reasons why we only lasted like a year and a half, I think. Or no, we were together longer than that, I think.
Maybe a couple years.
Yeah, I think we finished our last album. It was actually in 2008.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez,
But
nice.
we were pretty much broken up before that album was even finished.
Yeah. I think pretty much you and I mostly finished that album, just the two of us.
Yeah, but it was difficult with Laurel because she just sang, and at the same time the rest of us all sang too. So there'd be a lot of songs that she'd just have to sit out. She didn't have anything to do in.
Yeah.
And that always felt weird, and like, I don't know, I always felt kind of torn because I felt bad that she didn't have anything to do, but at the same time I wanted all of us to be able to sing. So that was kind of awkward.
Yes, it was interesting for sure. She would be basically coming on and off of stage when we played out. And I wish that she could have been with us the whole time on the stage at least, but definitely awkward.
Well, she probably sang maybe a quarter of the songs. I think her kind of flagship song was "Thanks, Phil."
Yeah.
That was a good song. She had a song on the second album called "Sweet Talk," which I was listening to earlier today. That's a good song. It's really catchy. But I think "Thanks, Phil" is probably a good one to play about her because I don't know. It's a fun song too. Like it's about Philip Morris, cigarettes. Again, political.
Yeah. This is a cool song.
We did a little vocal effect here to make her sound like she had a smoker's voice. Here's "Thanks, Phil."
Big man.
Alright, so that was a little taste of Miss Laurel Buckles.
I sent those CDs back down to Phoenix, and a buddy of mine, Bobby Wallace, really loves that song. I think that was his favorite Worrymen song. Thanks, Phil. So, it's a good song. Kind of a I don't even know, a rockabilly feel.
Well, I think that our best stuff was probably I'm most proud of some of those hip-hop songs. The number one that comes to mind is Comorbidity. I was dedicated to it was straight up written about a guy that we worked with, and he knew that we wrote it about him later, right? I think we told him.
Yeah, I don't think we kept it a surprise. I think he was aware that song was about him.
I mean, nice guy. He had a lot of I guess you'd say psychological issues at the time.
Yeah.
I was studying psychology, and I'm the one that came up with that term out of my textbook, I think. Comorbidity. It means like co-occurring disorders.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that was just I remember the night that we all got together and wrote the lyrics, because I think we all knew the guy, and it was just a really cool collaborative process, like coming up with the words to that song. Do you remember that night at all?
No, I don't.
Not really.
No. The night we got together and wrote that song?
Well, it was just the lyrics. I mean, we had the music, I think, but we were all at John's apartment there.
Okay, yeah, I do. I do remember that song. That was probably the only song that we wrote the lyrics together on, right?
Yeah.
So,
I think so.
Yeah, we kind of had... That was kind of a good experience. We kind of had a nice layout of the lyrics and where they needed to go. Much more organized than any lyrics that I've ever written. So
yeah. And I almost want to say I had my mini disc recorder, and we were doing a demo of it as we went. But yeah, just to me, I love, I don't know a lot of, I still don't listen to much hip hop, but the thing I love about us is that it was hip hop, but it was real instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Like we did some specialized mixing where, like, really drop the lows on my kick drum to make it sound less like just a acoustic drum set, but like it's still what it is, and it sounds good. And you should mention too that you got the turntables going in this.
Yeah, that was definitely tried to incorporate turntables as much as I could. I think they're a useful instrument, and unfortunately it wasn't something we could do live, but it was a lot of fun making demos and recordings and incorporating the turntables.
And yeah, there's just, we'll play this song in a second here. There's just thinking back to it, there's so many layers of stuff going on. John's guitar work in it is great. It's just it's pretty subtle, and it's not something that's like out in front, but if you pay attention to it, it just fits in there really nicely. And there's all kinds of strange voices going on from your records that you were sampling.
Oh,
yeah. It was just so perfect, because it was just like voices in a head of someone with a psychological issues, like the song was about. And
there's some very dark tones in that song for sure. Huh, cool.
Well, here's Comorbidity.
My father was famous.
knee deep in shit. I can't live like this. I look down at the earth and I'm shaking my fist. I can't exist like this. I look into my life and I feel so sick. I can't live like this. I look down at the earth and I'm shaking my fist. I can no longer exist like this. I look into my life and I feel so sick. Ever since I was a child, the burdens began to pile. Trapped in denial, some pervert took my smile. Grew up deep in the heart, my own dad stopped my start. The minority in the places they would bash in my face for the color of my skin and my thick black glasses. Ridiculed in school, plotted plagues on the masses. Relations with women, I found myself struggling. The mental enemy within. So it's come to this, I need a psychiatrist. I'm fixing the addiction, fills out its own prescription. Clouded is my vision when I'm locked in the system. Can't escape the voice, only choice is to listen. I can't live like this. I look down at the earth and I'm shaking my fist. I can't exist like this. I look into my life and I feel so sick. I can't live like this. I look down at the earth and I'm shaking my fist. I can no longer exist like this. I look at my life and I feel so sick. I'm so ill, I'm about to spill my guts for a thrill. The voices won't chill, so you can peel me off the grill of a speeding car. We merge beings to alleviate the evil I'm seeing. Frozen with fear, been having panic attacks for years. Manic depressed stress, continue to regress. My money on a show or a bed to forget. It's the guns, it's the knives, and the cheating on your wife. It's the lying through your eyes, building up my strife. No explanation for the ones who are forsaken. Spending all my time building up my possession with no formal education. All the money I'm making, lesson the debt can't always bring home the bacon. And it's not very easy when my children are needy to explain to them that we ain't got no money. I am a modern day slave, can't remain this way. But today is the day that my luck will change. I had this Halloween Spooky Sounds record, and I'm certain that I used some things from that on that song.
I think you used some of that on that Crass song.
Definitely.
On the second album.
Yeah, I used
like the chains dragging across the floor.
Yeah. That was a favorite album to sample for sure.
Well, talking a little bit more about the albums, we had 3. The first one was an EP that was, you could almost say it was more like a demo.
Yeah.
Some we threw together really quickly. We called it In My Country There Is Problem, which I always love that title.
That was stolen from Borat. He in the Ali G show, the character Borat, he goes down to Tucson, Arizona, and plays this terrible song about how in his country there's a Jew problem, and he wants to kill all the Jews and get them out of his country. His country was Kazakhstan.
Was that in the movie or just the show?
I can't remember if it was... Oh, it was in the... What was it in? I don't remember if it was in the movie or the show.
I barely remember it.
It was either the show or the movie. I can't remember which. But that's where we got that from. In My Country There Is Problem. That's basically like the verse of his song. And we just thought it was a funny song.
Yeah. So that had 6 songs on it. One that I really love off that, well, there's that really funny one that I think you're embarrassed about with the You Can Pretend.
Yes, that song's terrible.
Yeah, that one's not that great, but we had a mashup cover on that album, which was Ton of Joy from Otis Redding, and I think the other was called Ghosts.
Yeah.
From the Jam.
Right.
Because I mean, this was before I think anyone ever even did a mashup of any kind. I mean, those are kind of popular now.
Yeah, Sublime kind of does that. Kind of did that back in the day.
Yeah.
It might be one of the only bands that I could think of to do that.
But it's just a great song. I mean, I think John, it seems like he kind of took the lyrics from. The lyrics are mostly from Ghosts, and I think the bass lines were like really similar. That's why it worked.
Yeah.
And we took a couple of the horn samples from Ton of Joy.
Yep.
Just put it all together. Maybe we should play that one since I'm talking so much about it.
Let's do that.
Here's Ghosts of Joy.
Shuffling to this ghost dance beat. Just keep on walking down never-ending streets. One day you'll walk right out of this life, and then you wonder why you didn't try to spread some loving all around. Old-fashioned causes like that still stand. This prejudice that ties you down. How do you feel at the end of the day? Just like you walked over your own grave. Why are you frightened? Can't you see that it's you? At the moment there's nothing, so there's nothing to lose. Lift up your lonely heart and walk right on.
Okay, so that was Ghosts of Joy from the EP In My Country There's Problem. Now, that little album is significant to me because that was the first time I had ever engineered, produced, mixed, recorded and mixed an album. That was me cutting my teeth, like learning how to do all that stuff. All of our albums were recorded in the basement of the house that we were renting. We had a little homemade studio down there, wall-to-wall carpet.
Davy's place.
Davies Avenue.
Nice.
We were, at this time, the technology was really coming into view, like the home studio revolution, I think some people call it, where, you know, just a few years prior to that was the very first time that we had the kind of technology that we have today to, you know, anyone can just get a few mics and an interface and computer and you can make some pretty damn good sounding stuff. So, but that EP, 6 songs, 5 or 6 songs, I don't know, was much shorter than our other albums. Our other albums were pretty long form.
Yeah.
Set 16, 17 songs a piece on the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you remember about the recording process?
It was a lot of fun. I always really enjoyed it. I always enjoyed that house. There would typically be lots of people there, your roommates and your roommates' friends, and it was always a blast over there. As far as the recording process, it was, I don't know, it was fun. I liked throwing the headphones on and trying to play along to the songs. It was definitely better than other recording experiences I've had since then. So
yeah,
I thought it was kind of cool. Yeah, because just prior to that, it was all 4 tracks and stuff. If you wanted to record something by yourself, you're using 4 tracks. And then we started getting these interfaces and computers, and it was exciting and new.
Yeah, I think we had a kind of a youth edge back then that maybe we've lost a little bit. Just like we were much more earnest back then. And, you know, it was, yeah, you were just like you said, it was new and exciting.
Yeah, and it was always a lot of fun layering things. Like we had with these computer interfaces, you have unlimited tracks, and I was used to 4 tracks, and if you wanted more than 4 tracks, you had to go through this really stupid process that definitely took the recording quality down. So it was nice to be able to play ping-ponging, yes. Yeah. It was nice to be able to play with unlimited tracks and just throw whatever samples you wanted on there, throw all kinds of guitar, drum, bass layers on. That was what I remember the most, is like, it just seemed like the possibilities were endless for recording.
Yeah, they were. Sky was the limit.
Yeah.
Well, so there's a little bit to be said about how Worrymen was the catalyst, I want to say, or and that one reason for that is because this was the first time that I had ever tried my hand at singing and playing drums at the same time. Was in the Worrymen. And really, I hadn't played drums in years, because I played guitar in absence, so I was not really drumming at the time that we started the band, but it got me back into playing drums on a regular basis. So, and yeah, I wish I remembered how we came to this conclusion that I would sing and play drums, like
in Biff, or
no, in Worrymen to start out, like where we just all like I think maybe I'm probably just imagining this, but if I wrote lyrics to a song and I could just see John being like, oh nope, you gotta sing that.
Yeah, I think
something like that.
I think we wanted you to sing. We wanted everyone to sing. We wanted, that was kind of part of being different, was having a singing drummer and having people take turns doing different things. And there's a band called Slightly Stupid from San Diego, who's another like reggae rock band who does that. They alternate, their bassists and guitarists switch instruments often, and everybody in the band sings. So I think in addition to your having an awesome yelling voice, I think that's really what it came down to, was like you had this really good voice that we knew of from early Biff songs, like this good, loud, aggressive voice, and we wanted that. So you had to do it. You had to drum and sing, and you were able to with no problem.
Well, do you, off the top of your head, recall some of the songs I sang?
Well, that's tricky because some of the songs that you sang, Laurel ended up singing later. So, gosh.
Well,
you sang Out of the Woods for sure.
Oh, I hate that. That song is... I'm ashamed of that song.
I liked that song.
It's a good song.
It's bad recording.
We did not do very well.
It's too hard to play that fucking song.
There was Xmas Night.
Right?
Which was a pretty good song. There was... What was that one that was like... Numbers. It was one that you wrote that I sang.
So...
It was more like hip-hop-ish. I think it was like track 10. 3, 5, 6 or...
Oh...
I need an intelligent woman. That one? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. God, I suck at
To
writing
make the
lyrics.
plans make sense.
Yeah, I totally remember. I can't remember the name of it.
It's called.
That was very nice of you to sing those lyrics, because those are crappy lyrics. But you were singing on controversial topics for a little while too.
Yeah, we mentioned that when we played it earlier. Like,
because I thought that eventually Laurel started singing that when we would play it live.
Maybe.
And then you sang on kind of a lot.
Well, one of my favorite songs that I just in general, but it's one that I sang, was track 1 off the second full-length album. It's called Nightmare.
Oh yeah. The gang vocals.
Yeah. Nightmare.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll play that one just because I like that one. So that one was... I mean, it's kind of... It doesn't really represent what I would do sometimes because I was singing more like I do now. Like, kind of, I went in a lower register to try to gain some more control over my pitch, but, you know, kind of, I didn't really take the screaming approach to this one.
Mm-hmm.
And the other strange thing that is actually good where it's bringing it up, but Laurel had quit the band before we finished recording the second full-length album, Subliminality.
Yeah.
But we had these... She only sang on one song on that album, but we still had these like female parts that we wanted to do. So I got my roommate Lauren to sing those parts.
That's right.
So this Nightmare song is about a relationship I had, and I wanted a female to be like the voice of my ex-girlfriend in it. So this is my roommate Lauren Kinney, now Lauren Horeshka, singing the backup there on Nightmare.
You've been running through my head.
was a nightmare. Yeah, so that was a flavor of me singing. We also had some instrumental songs. On the second album, there was several kind of experimental tunes. One of them featured a drunken recording.
Oh, yes.
Apparently Seth was hanging out with some roommates, friends, and everyone was pretty intoxicated. He turned on a recorder and got some funny conversations, so we just put that over a song.
Right. Burton was there, in fact. And I think he punched a hole in our wall later that night and started crying. And I was not drinking alcohol at all at the time, which I am not drinking alcohol again, as a matter of fact. But I was completely sober, and I was like thinking like how fucking crazy they sound, so I decided to record it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
There was that. There was a song called Worse and Worse. Remember that one?
Yeah, that was you on sax, right?
Yeah, played a little sax on that one. And I had this recording of this guy talking about emotions and like kind of like going down a scale of like emotions getting, you know, from bad to good. So it's like happiness, and then you go down and contentment, and then you get down to despair, shame, guilt.
Mm-hmm.
So I had all these, and worry was one of them. So like we put worry in there a lot.
Mm.
That album, I'm trying to think, wasn't there one more instrumental on there? I don't know, but anyway, the first album had a really great instrumental that we'll put in here we called it the Lorax. And obviously Dr. Seuss inspired. We had some keyboards in this song. A lot of our songs had some keyboards in it, which again weren't able to produce live. But anything else you remember about the Lorax?
No, just
you had a sweet bass line in it.
Yeah, I really liked that song. Every single thing about it, and just remember the book, the Dr. Seuss book, the Lorax. Other than that, I don't recall how it came about. I think we just pulled that straight out of our butts.
And now we will play for you, the Lorax. I really like that. I don't even remember what kind of keyboard it was. It belonged to one of my roommates, but there was like that crazy like sound in the middle there, the do 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 do. That was really fun. There was some cover songs on the second album.
Yeah.
Speaking of our influences, we had a Sublime song on there, a Bad Fish cover.
Yeah, that was pretty terrible.
And Minutemen, the Stories?
Yes, it's Stories by the Minutemen. That was actually a really good cover, I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Minutemen wrote that song either, actually. I don't recall. They may not have, but we covered their version of that song, so.
Cool. What do you remember about our shows? We played quite a bit.
Yeah, we did. We played a lot.
I'm trying to think of some of the places we played. We played at X Saloon out in Lakewood.
Yeah.
I mean, all Colorado shows, obviously, but Lakewood, X Saloon, we played. I'm sure we played Wyatt's Torch a lot.
Oh,
it
yeah.
might have been under some of the other titles out in Aurora. That place was several different things, bottoms up.
Yeah, we played at, what's the other one that's related to X Saloon?
Bruno's.
Bruno's.
Biff played there too, later on.
We definitely played at Larimer Lounge at least a few times.
Yeah.
played at Cervantes.
Right.
That was terrible.
Masterpiece Ballroom.
That's right. Battle of the Bands.
Well, there's two memories for me that stick out. One was, I think it was at X Saloon. Their sound guy there was giving us a lot of, I guess you'd say, pointers.
Yeah.
But he was basically donning his ego, like oh, the mighty sound man knows everything. Like he's basically telling John how to sing or how to use a mic correctly. It's kind of insulting. And of course, I think it was at Bruno's when the sound man introduced us as the Worry Boys.
That was awesome. I'm sure Laurel was there too, so.
Yeah, she was at all the shows. That's, I don't know, that's about all I remember from the shows.
Yeah, it's pretty standard stuff. We just, I remember Larimer Lounge most. I feel like that's where we got the most people, and those were, I don't know, probably our best shows at the Larimer Lounge. I'm trying to remember whether, I don't know that we played at Lions Lair.
Yeah, probably not.
We definitely played at Rita's birthday party in your basement. That was an interesting one.
It was Rita's party?
Yeah, we played Rita's birthday party. And
that was the one where we all had our shirts off.
Right.
And John had that crazy farmer's tan.
Yes. And then he had another band called Honky Lips with his friend Mark, and it was just a two-piece band. And then Keith, crashed their set and played bass.
They didn't have a bass player, and this friend of ours decided he was just going to jump in and play bass with him, even though he had never played with him before.
And he ruined their set. That was awesome.
I'm sure he was drunk, right?
Oh, yeah, wasted.
It's not, he was an odd fellow, but even that would be bad behavior for him.
Yeah, it was pretty great, though.
Oh, you know where else we played? Jim's dad's basement.
Yeah.
I think Abscess played too.
I think, didn't three bands play? Wasn't V playing too?
V's John's other band.
Yeah. So those are always the most fun for me, is playing at houses, because I don't know, I just think it's just more comfortable for me.
Yeah, for sure. Miss those.
Yeah. So, gosh, where else did we play? Because X Saloon is in Lakewood?
Oh, yeah. No, we played at, I'm pretty sure we played at the, what's it called in Aurora?
Isle of Parks.
Isle of Parks.
Yeah, we've played there. That's a memorable place. There's always crazies at Isle of Park Saloon. I don't think it's there anymore. I think it's gone.
Yeah. Not so many places to play in Aurora anymore that I know of.
Did we ever play at PT's as Worrymen?
No, that came later.
Huh.
What else can we talk about? We'll talk about the breakup. I just don't know we're quite there yet.
Yeah. It's kind of, I was trying to think about what, if there was a decline or anything.
The what?
A decline in the band, with the band.
Oh Yeah, I mean, John and Laurel broke up, didn't they?
Yeah, but it was... No, they did not. She quit the band.
Laurel, yeah, she was pissed at all of us, I think.
It was a very sharp decline. It wasn't something I saw coming at all. It was just, I mean, you guys both had other bands that were more well established than the Worrymen, for sure. And I think that may have had something to do with why John quit, amongst other things. I didn't really get any, like, reasons for it.
Yeah, he just didn't want to do it anymore, was the bottom line.
Right. But it was...
We could have gone on even though Laurel quit. And
yeah.
I want to say maybe we continued to record that last album. But I'm pretty sure after he said he was quitting, we never played again.
Yeah, no, he texted me and said, hey, I quit, basically. I was at Rita's house at the time, I remember. That was the last time the Worrymen played. Prior to that. But yeah, we went on and finished the recording. I kind of thought we were going in a good direction, too. I thought maybe the first full-length album was better, but the second one wasn't bad. There were some bad moments on it, but overall, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And,
What song I won't play here because it's kind of long and I don't know if it'll fit, but like, remember the Subliminality song?
yeah.
I really like that one. I didn't really like my part, which is probably why, I think I kind of ruined it. But you were, it was cool because you were talking about all these great, mostly musicians, but also other historical figures that died young. And that was just a cool idea for a song.
Yeah. Saul Williams sort of kind of influenced that. But yeah, it's kind of strange to be that young and thinking about all of those people. I guess it's not that strange because, I don't know, it seems like all the highly influential artists of our time died in their 20s. So, it's just thinking about all of them. And even artists...
Particularly age 27, I think, is kind of a magic number.
Yeah, mid-20s.
Cobain, Hendrix.
Yeah, Bradley Noel was close to that age as well when he died. Yeah.
The music in that song is really good too.
Yeah, it's definitely good music, and you had vocal parts in that song as well.
Yeah. And so did Lauren.
Oh yes.
Well, back to what we were just talking about a second ago, as far as breaking up, finishing up this album. There was one song that's really great on the second album that you and I just did ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Panic Attack?
Panic Attack. I think we should put that one on here.
Okay.
So that was you on vocal, guitar, and bass, and me on drums.
Yeah.
And I guess, man, that song just means a lot. It has a lot of meaning because that was like about a tough time in your life.
Yeah, a really tough time. Basically,
that I witnessed.
You did. I remember looking at you as I was being taken out of Papa John's Pizza by the police.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really tough. A lot of crazy things that happened there that really changed my life. And the song is about all that stuff, but mainly later on, I experienced a panic attack, and that was my first panic attack. And it prompted this song.
Yeah.
So
There's a lyric, since I got out of jail, look into my life, how did I lose control? Where did I find that knife?
yep.
You know, people might think that, oh, that's just someone making that shit up, but no, that was real shit.
That shit really happened. It really did.
Yeah. So here's a Panic Attack.
Ever since I got out of jail, I looked into my life. When did I lose control? When did I find that knife? How'd I lose that fight? Watch it all fall down. Pick up the broken pieces. But it's too late to rebuild now. It's all locked in my mind. The lies, the deception. I can't control my own thoughts. Ashes to ashes, we all fall down in the end. In the end. In the end. I'm not the fence for myself. They took everything in this system and there's no way out. Panic! Attack! Panic! Come back! Freedom! Give it back! Freedom! I lack! I wasn't just paranoid. Assailants closing in. Pursuit from all angles. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Panic! Attack! Panic! Come back! Freedom! Give it back! Freedom! Give it back!
That song could have been a Biff song. Almost. I mean, a little more. Biff doesn't really go that far as punk stuff, but
Biff's a lot more lighthearted too.
yeah. So this does all tie into Biff, as we mentioned, because Worrymen broke up. Well, okay, you know what? I was wrong earlier when I mentioned 2008, because Biff reformed in 2006.
Okay.
And Worrymen were definitely done when we reformed.
So that must have pushed Worrymen's start date back to 2003-ish, 2002 maybe even.
No, because we didn't move into that house until mid-2004.
Oh, really?
So I'm pretty sure it was maybe early 2005 that we started.
Oh, so it was,
we were really
it was a
only
short
together
run.
a year and a half.
Yeah.
Which
Well-
is pretty impressive for what we produced in that time.
Yeah, we got a lot done in that short amount of time. Music was definitely a
I almost want to
huge
say
part
that
of
we
my life.
rehearsed more than just once a week.
Sometimes we did, yeah. I was big into practicing, probably because I was just barely learning an instrument, so
Yeah, we got a bit of a head start on you.
yeah.
Well, so John quit, Laurel quit, then John quit, finished the album, and I think perhaps there was some overlap there, because I already had the Biff Returns album done
Yeah, yeah.
by the time that Worrymen were breaking up, because I was working on that while all this was going on. And you know, Joe and I, when we got together to do that Biff Returns album, didn't really have any plans to get Biff back together. But since Worrymen had broken up, and I was already used to playing in two bands, it just seemed like the next thing to do.
Yeah.
With you without a band.
Yeah, it was a pretty seamless. Well, I won't say it was a seamless transition, but it worked out nicely. Because I was heavily into music at that time, and you just approached me about playing in Biff, and I was surprised as hell. But I think I said yes without hesitation, despite the fact that I was and still am a bad guitar player. That after I said yes, I was like, wait a minute, I don't fucking know how to play guitar. How am I gonna do this? But it was definitely a fun challenge, and I was always a huge Biff fan, and that's probably also what caused my knee-jerk reaction to say yes. Was one, you're like reaching out to me, and I really appreciated that. And two, it was like, what? I get to play with Biff? I had been listening to SBIP. You gave it to me at work one day, and I absolutely loved it. So it was just all good.
Yeah. Well, these are the days of our lives.
Yeah, sir.
I had thought about bringing up the idea of a Worrymen legacy. Is there anything that comes to mind there?
Like, what was our legacy?
Yeah. I mean, we can't say that we had a ton of fans.
No.
It was just friends. But I think people did really like us.
Yeah. I think we're eclectic, and your average listener could at least find something that they liked about our band. And that's what I heard a lot, is some people would say they liked a specific thing about the band, not necessarily the entire thing, which is fine with me. But our legacy, I think, to me, it was really a tribute to my friend Joe that passed. That's the whole reason why I started playing music, and
just so people know, he got you into music, got you playing.
Yeah.
Passed away in a car accident.
Yep. And his band, Urban Life, yeah, I just really liked them. I listened to all the same kind of music that Joe listened to, and the same kind of music that the other guys in Urban Life listened to, and we had that in common. And I guess my musical legacy was just honoring his memory, I would say. That's a huge part of it.
And so we'll be able to always listen back to Worrymen and think of him and think of the whole experience.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great experience, all in all.
Well, should we wrap it up and lead it out on a song?
Yeah, let's do it.
What would be a good song to go out on?
I like Froggies, but I don't know if that's appropriate. You pick it, you call it. What's our best song? Did we play Controversial Topics?
Yeah, we started
did.
with that.
You pick it, I don't care.
Okay. Well, this has been a Biffcast. Thanks a lot for listening. And we'll lead you out here with Playing with the Mini.
What startled me, I was not in a dream. Noise was seldom heard, and that's when it occurred to me that I should make an angry call, write a nasty line, but to hear it, I don't know. Where's my protection from the outside world? Say no guarantee of safety. a cry for change and who will hear it? I don't know. Where's my protection from the outside world? There's no guarantee of safety here. So I declare to no one I make a difference. The blame of the many, the hearts of the few. The blame of the many is my burden. Understanding. The blame of the many is my burden. And it startled me, unsure if it's a dream. Couldn't make a sound, though tried for an eternity. I should have made an angry call. Could have dropped the dime and who would hear it? I don't know. Where's my protection from the outside fucking world? There's no guarantee of safety here. The blame of the many's in the hearts of the few.
For the Biff Podcast, I'm Dave.
I'm Seth.
See you next time on biffnet.com.
Wu-Tang.